Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Admiral, for speaking so highly of the Alaska fishing fleet and the management practices. We appreciate that in the Northwest. If I could, I want to ask several questions and try to get through them if I could. On the budget, is there in the budget support for a new icebreaker?
Senator, there is.
Okay.
And so,
Can you say at what level?
so it's in the Navy shipbuilding budget, a $1 billion mark that's been put in there. We've stood up an integrated program office. We awarded industry studies 3 weeks ago.
So you're saying in this new budget, there's support for the $1 billion that the Senate was able to push?
Push $150 million of that out, so we can accelerate the timeline with industry studies, look at commercial off-the-shelf designs, and ideally award a contract to start cutting steel in the next year.
Okay. Offshore patrol cutters, are they in this budget proposal?
They are, and I'm delighted to see that.
Okay. And can you tell us at what amount?
I don't have the exact amounts.
I think my colleague from Michigan asked, first we saw the skinny budget with I think 14% reduction, and then a new proposal, but we couldn't really see the transparency of the Coast Guard. So as a lot of Coast Guard communities represented here, places where the Coast Guard is so critical, we just want to understand what's in the budget proposal and what we have to fight extra hard for that's not, so.
Yeah, so when we looked at the initial, the initial pass back, they did not touch the offshore patrol cutter. So I'll give you the exact funding figures that are in there for 18, but we are still on trajectory to deliver the first of those 25 in 2021.
Okay. Canadians are upping their, by $200 million, their oil response prevention because of the tar sand oil. You and I have had this exchange before. Is there additional funding in the Coast Guard budget for tar sands, oil traffic?
We have modest funding in our R&D budget, and this is one of my highest priorities, trying to remove bitumen, whether it's in the Great Lakes, in the Straits of Juan de Fuca. But we're also working within the Department of Homeland Security and S&T to look at what other technologies are out there. We meet regularly with our Canadian counterparts. I'll meet tomorrow with my counterpart from Russia in Boston. And what are they doing to mitigate an oil spill in the Arctic domain as well? So we need to be transparent. What are the best technologies out there?
So you did get new money? Is that what you're saying?
No, we're still flatlined in our
So you need
R&D
money.
budget.
So we need money on this.
It would help.
Thank you. On this TRICARE issue that you and I have had a chance to have an exchange about, and I was just out at Cape Disappointment meeting with, well, fishermen in Oahu, and the Coast Guard was good enough to show up. I think the issue here is that still given this designation, we have Portland on one side who basically gets to be seen as a rural, not enough access, and gets a better designation than on the Washington side, obviously a very small community. The analysis is that really there's only 1 in 7 nurse practitioners and 1 doctor available to see Coast Guard patients in under a 1-month period of time. So I received a letter from you, I think dated yesterday or today, and you're still looking at this. So I want to understand what processes we need to go through to help the men and women in the Coast Guard in that region get access to timely health care.
Yeah, Senator, I thank you for. My wife and I have been to these very same remote areas, and this comes as no surprise to us. And with all the military serving in the state of Washington, thank you for looking out to our folks that often are overlooked. We'll look at the designation, the proper designation. We have a clinic in Astoria. We're meeting with the Defense Health Agency. Can we instate this as TRICARE Remote instead of TRICARE Prime? But what impact would that have with retirees, all military retirees that live in these very same communities? So I want to be able to answer those questions, but we are not meeting the needs of our people today, and I understand that. We will meet with you and your staff, I believe, on the 4th of August. We're still waiting to get more information back from the Defense Health Agency because they would be the ones that would ultimately designate that as an area for TRICARE Prime Remote.
Well, we definitely will help take on that effort with them, but we want to know we have your support in that you're.
Absolutely. Yes, you did.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just, I don't know, UAVs, if you're going to include that in the icebreakers, are they going to look at that capacity?
Right now, we're looking at that in our counter-drug. This is going to be cross-cutting in everything that we do, in the high latitudes with drug interdiction and the like, but we also need to look at land-based unmanned aerial systems as well.